How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We're going to go through some of the top cryptos I've been buying recently, some of the ones I think have the best potential for the year ahead, some that can produce outsized returns. Now, this is not an all-inclusive list. I can't cover every single crypto that's going to do well because every single crypto, most cryptos, 90% of cryptos will probably move up. At least the ones that are actually decent are going to move up during the next bull run. Right, so a lot of these I do hold myself, and that's part of the reason I'm bullish on them. Like, why would I be super bullish on something that I'm not holding, right? So just keep that in mind. I will tell you when maybe they're a little bit smaller, there's a little bit more risk, or when there's less risk. I'm going to go through all that. There's a lot to cover. I'm not going to go in any specific order because I'm going to keep you on your toes. I've done it from smallest to biggest in the past. I've done it from biggest to smallest, but we're going to jump all around in terms of size here today. And we've got a lot to cover. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on that bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one right when I make them. We're in a bit of a red day here today. Yesterday, there's a lot of excitement about the spot ETF possibly getting approved today. And while we don't know exactly if that's going to happen yet, it seems like the market is a little bit sad that has not gotten approved. We are supposed to get a spot Bitcoin ETF apparently in the next 5 days or so, allegedly. So get ready. Even if we don't get that, keep in mind the next bull run is happening. And I'll show you at the end of the video some of the stats, some of the crazy money you could have made just by buying about now and just riding some of the top 10 cryptos from the last bull run. And I'll explain that a little bit better later. I'm just going to say this. If you had just thrown a dart at the board, bought the top 10 cryptos, from early 2020 and just held on for a year and a half or 2 years, you would have made a lot of money. I'll show you the numbers, how much you would have made. And again, I'm not picking out like specific cryptos like Salana that came from nothing. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you. Now, before we get started, I do want to say a lot of these cryptos we've been talking about in HGAaccess. This is a group that I'm in with about 10 other influencers. And the main reason that we set up this group is because we have access to a lot of information. We know when companies are starting marketing. We know when money is flowing. We can see meme coin seasons coming in and out. We can see the market, I think, a lot more than a lot of other people because we have access to so much information. And that's why we want to start HGAaccess, to give you access to some of the information that we have at our agency that has about 20 different creators. We work with about 50 other creators on Twitter and YouTube. So if you want to get access to this, I'll put a link to it underneath the video. Also, if you want to trade cryptos, I'm going to put a link to Margex underneath the video where you can long and short different cryptocurrencies. You can sign up. There's no KYC. There's no VPN. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to set up. You can deposit money in here. They are an exchange that is smaller. It's a boutique exchange, as they say, which means they have really good customer service and they are growing like crazy. So they definitely have a lot of people that have been onboarded recently. So keep that in mind. There's also a link down there to Blowfin as well in case you want to trade over there, which they have a ton of trading pairs there. So let's start here. CIFY. I've talked about CIFY before. CIFY is one of the cryptos that I bought maybe 2 months ago. I started buying at the very beginning of November. I started working with them actually at that time, and I fell in love with the crypto. After I re-researched what they had done, because I say re-researched, I looked at them during the last bull run and then hadn't bought them, and then they reached out about working together. And then I looked at the crypto. I said, I need to buy this. There's a negative connotation when people start marketing, but I really don't think there should be, because it shows that the company actually has money to go out and market and for more people to learn about them. So we bought right here around almost exactly 2 months ago and rode it up about 4.5x. Now it's come down a little bit. I really like this one for a variety of reasons. If you don't know, they're a crypto gaming launchpad. Crypto gaming, one of the hottest sectors, I think, right now. One of the hottest narratives for the next bull run. And the fact is, if people get greedy, CIFY is going to do really well, and I think they will. This is a good post. They talk about CIFY here. CIFY is a launchpad with the best launches in recent years. being very successful even in the bear market, 42x, 18x, 12x. What fascinates this person is not the upside potential, it's the refund policy. If you don't claim the tokens, you have 7 days to get your money back, so there's no downside risk. So if you want to invest pre-sale, if you want to get allocation, you have to own CIFY. You need to own their token, S-Fund, and you can get better tiers if you hold more tokens. So they also are covered by Alex Becker. Alex Becker did say that he's going to post a video on Saturday, talk about the best coins for 2024. So, if you're looking for the very short term, it might get a pump tomorrow when he talks about it. Now, of course, who cares about the short term? I think you need to be looking longer term. And I think that narrative, that gaming crypto narrative, really will carry CIFY for a long time during this bull run. So I would pay attention to this. Kind of in a similar fashion for for an even riskier crypto. And then we'll get to some of the less risky cryptos in a second. I have been watching FINK. Now, this is one that I talked about on my Patreon. I talked about it in HGAaccess as well, or we talked about it there. It's $0.045 right now. I talked about it around 0.019, so it's over 100% up from where I talked about just a day ago. The market cap is small, about just sub $1 million, but I do know that they're doing more marketing. I am working with them as well, but I know that they're planning on a lot of marketing here soon. And with the Larry Fink narrative, like I see so many people posting about him on Twitter, I think more people will find out about FINK and be interested in it. You can buy it right now on PancakeSwap. I'll put information underneath so that way you don't get sent to the wrong FINK or like some fake FINK meme coin. But this was fair launched as well, so the team didn't just give themselves a bunch of tokens or anything like that. On DEX tools as well, it's a 99 out of 100 in terms of trustability. So definitely check this one out if you're looking at meme coins anytime soon. I know some big meme coin creators too, they're going to start talking about it. Now, moving on to something a little bit less risky, I think we have to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has had the most inflows. This is actually a really interesting report from CoinShares. This is the 2023 kind of year-end report. Keep in mind, they do show inflows for last week, pretty large inflows coming again after we had a lot of inflows and a little bit of pessimism, and now we're starting to see inflows again. But last year we did see the most inflows, obviously, going into Bitcoin. We saw almost $2 billion, which is not bad for the beginning of the bull market or from coming out of the bear market. 2022, we actually saw some inflows too on Bitcoin, which is interesting. Even during a bear market, still having inflows on institutional investments or institutional from institutions, just money coming in through institutions. We also know whales are buying. I showed this earlier today. One whale bought 10,000 Bitcoin yesterday. They reemerged for the first time in 6 months. We also know that there's going to be a lot of advertising. We just got a new ad from Hashdex, but we know that there's going to be a lot of advertising through all these different ETF companies, through Fidelity, through BlackRock, through ARK Invest, through Hashdex, and they're going to be pumping the crap out of their own investment products. Also, we just heard Van Eck is going to actually do some donations, supposedly, but it is subject to approval. But they said that they are going to try to donate 5% of their Bitcoin ETF profits to support Bitcoin core developers for at least 10 years now. To be fair, I have seen a lot of people say that they're going to put their Bitcoin in Van Eck because of this. So maybe it's just a marketing ploy, but either way, if it drives more inflows into Bitcoin, I think that's a good thing. Speaking of inflows, apparently there was someone who is high up at Van Eck, Matthew Segal, who said he's heard from a well-placed source that BlackRock has $2 billion of capital lined up. He said, I heard from a pretty well-placed source that BlackRock has more than $2 billion lined up in week one in new incremental flows from existing Bitcoin holders who are adding to positions. I can't vouch for that, but, that's what everyone is doing, just making phone calls and trying to find folks who can write checks into these products. And our estimates that, if that $2 billion happened in 1 week, that would blow away our estimates. We're at $2.5 billion for the first quarter of trading. So He says you know a lot, not me. But also, he did say that he can't vouch for that, so maybe he's just making this up. But there is a lot of capital sitting on the sidelines that will most likely flow into Bitcoin at some point. Now, if you don't want to get into Bitcoin, what if you want something a little more degen, but still a blue chip? Well, some people are looking at Ethereum. A lot of people are saying Ethereum's dead. When you look at this chart, this is the ETH Bitcoin chart. It's really ugly. You see, all the way back here in September 2022, when people were talking about how well Ethereum was holding up against Bitcoin, and then we had a lower high, another lower high, another lower high, with lower lows consistently. We have continued to see lower lows. Now, we're at an interesting point where we are kind of getting close to this support that we had seen in the past back in June 2022. Maybe we'll break through it. Maybe we'll break above it. I don't think you should count Ethereum out, though. A lot of people are calling Ethereum dead, just saying that there's nowhere it can go from here. That Salana, Cardano, a lot of other layer ones are catching up to it. We also have heard that Celsius is going to unstake 470 million in Ether, so maybe some people are going to be worried about that. When you look around too, a lot of people, like I said, calling Ethereum dead, but I don't necessarily think it's dead. Crypto cycles just kind of happen this way, where one crypto like Salana will go on a run, and then everyone will think Ethereum's dead, and then Ethereum will go on a run, and then they'll say, oh, this was so stupid that everyone thought Ethereum was dead, but then Salana will move up again, and then people think Ethereum's dead again. This continues to happen. Keep in mind, Ethereum still has the largest developer ecosystem, the largest amount of funding, by far, a looming spot ETF, the most users, TVL, and transactions, superior decentralization and security to most other blockchains, and a strong deflationary mechanism. So it has a lot of things going for it. Keep in mind, institutional investors will also love that yield. Now, if we're talking about layer ones, we have to talk about Salana as well. Salana probably is one of the most hated and loved cryptocurrencies out there. Like, it's probably one of the most polarizing because so many people feel like they got left behind. We chopped around $18 to $30 for a while after it had already been at $8. So a lot of people thought, oh, wow, at 3x from the bottom. And then we just went on a massive run all the way up to 130. Now it's consolidating a bit, which is healthy, I think. Moving into the next bull run, consolidation around 100, I think is a really strong support base. I mean, think about it. It's only got a 3x to get to the all-time highs, which still is a lot, but moving into the bull run, I don't think that's crazy. We also know that it has been growing a lot. We've seen, based on DeFi Llama metrics, that Solana DEX's recorded trades valued at over 912 million just in the past day. This is just from a few days ago. This surpasses trading activity on Arbitrum, which had about 721 million during the same period. They've also seen a huge increase in the TVL, which has more than doubled since mid-October, showing a 45% monthly gain. That's absolutely nuts. So Solana is one that you have to pay attention to as well. I just did a full video. I just did a full video with another creator, and we talked about Salana a lot. He gave his price prediction. I'll put it on the end screen, but that other creator, Tyler Hill, said that Salana could go up to $2,200 based on TA. So if you want to check out that video, I'll leave it on the end screen, like I said, or you can just search for it on the channel. So the next one on the list is Caspa. Caspa has blown up as well. When you talk about some of the best performing cryptos over the last year, you have to talk about Caspa. It has made its way into the top 40, I believe, top 50. And it went from just $1 million, $2 million a day in volume to now, I mean, at the peak, a couple hundred million in volume. And it's gone up 20x, maybe even more. It's gone up even more from before that, if you look before the charts were even showing it. But it's cooled down a little bit recently. It went up to 14, 15 cents. Now it's cooled down to 10 or 11 cents. I think that's a healthy pullback after such a massive move. They have one of the best communities out there too. I mean, whenever a price has come down a bit, people get a little bit quiet, but it does have a very strong community. If you look too, it's still hard to buy for a lot of people. Like, it's hard to buy in the US. I will say recently Margex added it, so you can actually trade Caspa on Margex. If you're interested in that, you can check out the link to Margex underneath the video. I will say too, the hash rate has really improved. I mean, you talk about securing the network. Well, it has had a massive run up in hash rate. I'm actually looking at buying or getting a Caspa miner myself at some point. I've been approached by a couple people that have them, and just a month ago it was at 95 I think that's petahash per second, maybe ph per second, and now it's 131. Just a day ago is 147, just earlier today actually. So might just be a little bit of a dip as someone's maybe repositioning their miners or moving them or something. But when you look at the year, it's absolutely blown up. I mean, it's over 100x'd the hash rate in the last year. It's become really profitable to secure that network. The next crypto on this list is Inspect. Now, this is one that you might not have heard of. I've covered it a couple times on the channel. $30 million market cap, about 190 million fully diluted. It's available on KuCoin, Bybit, Gate.io, Mexi, PancakeSwap, BitGet. But it is supposed to be a layer 2 for Twitter. Now, when I heard this originally, I thought, well, what the heck? Like, how is this going to be a layer 2? But what I found out was basically it's a extension, a Chrome extension, and you can launch Twitter and you can get a lot of information. So you can learn about cryptocurrencies, NFTs, market insights, streamlined actions. It's rated 5 stars. They already have about 4,000 reviews, and it gives you pure firsthand and real-time data from the source. So kind of interesting. I'm actually a big, well, I don't want to say big holder because it's not like I hold a lot compared to like some of the whales, but for my own portfolio, I actually have a good amount of Inspect tokens. It's one of my larger bags. I was able to work with them, and the fact is the token did really well. If you didn't know this, it's 15x since it launched. Like, absolutely nuts returns, and that's one of the things you can look forward to in HGAaccess. These are the kinds of cryptos that we talk about in there, but it's done extremely well. And the cool thing about that is there are a lot of influencers that got in early on this, like that already have 15x's and are working with Inspect. And when it does this well, people like to talk about it. People are going to continue to cover it for a very long time. And it's actually got a working product that's pretty cool. I'm working on it right now. I just downloaded it earlier today, and I'm going to try it out. Maybe I'll do a full video on it here soon. Now, moving on from there, I just want to say there are so many different cryptos out there. Like, it's impossible to cover all of them. But I just wanted to show you that no matter where you invest, if you invest in just the top 10, you can make a lot of money. For example, this is the Wayback Machine. This shows specific web pages at specific dates. So this is January 1, 2020. So about 4 years ago today, a similar point in the crypto market cycle. And I just want to show you how much the prices have gone up for some of these cryptos. Like, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Binance Coin, BSV or Bitcoin SV, Tezos. It's hard to realize how much money you have made, even if you just look at like a year and a half later, 2 years later, the prices, obviously they've gone up. So what I did was I actually created a Google Sheets to show you if you had just invested, not knowing the perfect timing, not knowing exactly what to put in, but you just spread it across the top 10. If you had just bought like an equal amount of the top 10, or not even an equal amount, but just if you had spread your money across the top 10 with most of it going into Bitcoin. Let's say you put $5,000 in Bitcoin, $2,000 in Ethereum, and then $300 in the next 10 cryptocurrencies, excluding obviously USDC or USDT. You just put 10K in and you put most of it in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then you don't time it perfectly, but you do sell at the end of October of 2021. So within like a month of the high, not perfect or anything like that. You can see some of the prices that you would have paid here. You would have paid $5,000 or invested $5,000 into a Bitcoin price of 7,200. So you would have gone about 0.7 Bitcoin. You would have bought Ethereum, spent $2,000 and bought it at $131, $300 into BNB at $14, etc. Every single one of these went up during this time. You know, some of these I don't really know that much about, and I don't pay attention to them. Like some of the smaller ones on this list or some of the ones that are further down, I don't pay attention to them anymore. So I thought, oh, maybe you'll actually lose money. You don't lose money, or you wouldn't have lost money in any of these, which is kind of crazy. But take a look at some of these values. Our $5,000 that we put into Bitcoin would be worth $42,000, which is a multiple of 8.5. I mean, that's a nice return. Ethereum, you would have put $2,000 in it, you would have $65,000. 33x. Keep on going down the list. XRP, you would have put $300 in at 19 cents, sold it at $1.11, a nice 6x. Go down the line, some of the smallest gainers, still 60% up over a year and a half. The largest gainer being Cardano with a 57x. 57x. And it's not like I just picked it because it did really well. Like I just picked the next one down the list, and it was ADA, and then it went from 3 cents to $1.96. Keep in mind, it ended up going to like $3.20. So again, not timing it perfectly. I didn't pick up Salana and say that, you know, you buy it at $1 and then you sell it at 200 because it wasn't in the top 10. So overall, you would have made from your $10,000 investment, you would have made $147,000. Just to put some numbers behind that, that's about a 15x. So no matter what you buy, honestly, you'll probably do pretty well. Of course, if you ape everything into some small meme coin and then the meme coin doesn't do well, or some crappy cryptocurrency that never gets any traction, you could lose money. So I do believe in diversification a bit. I believe in weighting my portfolio heavier to like some of the less risky cryptocurrencies, but I also have some moonshots. Like I said, like I do hold meme coins. I do hold some higher risk cryptos. I do hold gaming cryptos. So if you are too worried about buying those, I totally get it. It's fine. You don't have to buy those kinds of higher risk cryptos, but just know that no matter what you buy, you're probably going to do pretty well if you're investing at this point in the market cycle. Now, of course, always do your own research. I just wanted to give you some context and show you how well you can actually do in the bull run, because a lot of people have not been through an entire bull run from start to finish. Let me know your thoughts underneath the video, though. Again, you can check out the links underneath to HGAaccess, to my Patreon, to Margex in case you want to trade. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what crypto you think should be on this list for the next video. Maybe I'll include it. Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the